Okay, so this is Grim Trigger, and this is a review of the Studio Series Movie 1 Autobots. I know at this point, some of these figures have been released already for more than a year now. And yeah, most of you either have these figures already in hand or have at least seen these reviews multiple times already. Yeah. Anyway, what can I do? If I thought to myself, if I was gonna start reviewing Studio Series figures, and there are still some new releases coming in left and right of these Studio Series figures, I thought it best that I go through the back catalog as well, just so once we do the comparisons and things like that, you have some sort of reference and yeah. Yeah, that and the fact that I've reviewed most of my new figures anyway, so and I wanted to test my new camera stand, which is not that expensive or fancy but works well. Yeah, so just indulge me. um okay, so I don't think reviewing these guys qualifies as a retro review, since like some of these guys, well, at least some of these guys were just released like 6 months ago or something like that, but I do consider it catch up review, at least me catching up, because I'm way behind the pack at this point. Okay, so I thought we go through each of the figures one by one. Still on the fence whether I'll do transformations. I might just point out transformation tricks, since you've all seen the transformations anyway. So transformation tricks that I've seen. Now if you want to see a more detailed transformation and things like that, let me know, and I can do separate videos of the transformations. But for now, everyone has seen the transformations, no need to repeat that. And then I'll be doing some size comparisons with like relevant figures, at least for each of those, each of these ones, and just to give you an indication how big they are and how they scale with things from Power of the Primes and basically the previous trilogy and Siege, and maybe some comparisons with figures from other lines and things like that. So yeah, first and foremost, let's go with the first Studio Series figure. At least as I remember, is the first Studio Series figure. This is Studio Series Movie 1 Bumblebee. Okay, so Studio Series Movie 1 Bumblebee. Oddly enough, we haven't gotten a version of this guy with the modern Camaro in the Studio Series line, at least matching the first movie. We did get the Camaro from when he first appeared in the movie, albeit cleaned up, brand new version of it. We are getting, or I think we've already gotten this, the new version of this mold with the rusted up paint and things like that. Yeah, so if you're still looking for this guy, better get that. That's more accurate anyway and has better paint apps, though I don't know if there's any joint degradation and things like that, so be warned. Okay, so going through the guy, you see very accurate Bumblebee head sculpt. He doesn't have the battle mask gimmick, but I don't mind. Very accurate chest details. That's exactly how you look in the movie. Car windows there. Lots of molded details in the arms, side of the arms, accurate molded details. So in the other arm, there's this again. I think he comes packed with a normal arm, if I'm not mistaken, and this just replaces that via peg. So let me just do that now. This is very loose, pops up. This pops off really easy for me. Of course now it won't pop off. And this guy just spontaneously popped out as well. So this guy has been receiving a lot of flack from other reviewers just because of how well, fragile he is and how it doesn't stay together. I don't think he's half bad. As long as you transform him carefully and don't force things, it doesn't tend to like pop off as often as, you know, as others say it is. Anyway, going back through the details. Oh, hang on, let's go through the gun first. See, fairly accurate gun. I think it's a tad too large. Yeah, what can you do? Has this peg there, which allows you to store the gun in this culo, as Optimus fondly calls it. Oops. Sorry. Ah, what's wrong with you? There, and the removable arm also has that peg, so you can peg that there as well as in storage. Yep. So going back to the details, really nice ab detail here. I really like that. Missing some paint, but what can you do? It's also missing the front bumper. What can you do? Even if we get repro labels for that, that's like really tiny thing. Maybe it's too tiny for my old eyes. Going to the legs, very accurate front detail. Can't say the same about this, but what can you do? Things have to go somewhere, right? And the feet, really well painted as well. If only my camera would focus. Yeah, really well painted and well sculpted. From the side, very protruding backpack, very well protruding backpack. Not too bad, I think. He's a small figure and lightweight anyway, so it doesn't bother me too much. Remove that. That's just the gun that I attached. Yep. Again, molded detail on the feet. The back, well, probably the worst view is on the back, but we won't post it to, with the back in front anyway. So yeah, really good Bumblebee figure. So for articulation, his head can go up to that point only, hindered by the shoulder. And his head does go up and down a little bit. His arm can go that much to the side. It can't go all the way around because of the wings, door wings. Swivel at the top of the elbow joint that goes 90 degrees, and wrist swivel that goes in and out. Same as the other side. Okay. So you can see, it tends to fall apart. Only because I'm looking through a camera and bumping things here and there. Anyway, waist swivel goes all the way around. Legs that go that far up, that far back, that far to the side. Swivel there. This panel can move around. Get out of the way if you need it to. Knee that goes almost 90 degrees. This is a little bit too short compared to that, but that is par for the course for Bumblebees, I think. Every Bumblebee has that same issue. Come on, man, I've just been praising you and you keep falling apart. And feet that go forward and back. Few niggles. Yep, you've seen that, falling apart. This doesn't peg too well in as well. This also is very easy it falls off more often than I like. So you've seen those things. And yeah, the elbow, but yeah, what can you do? Now I'll go through more size comparisons later, but I thought I'd give you like some Bumblebee specific size comparison. So that's him with G1 Bumblebee. I also have the newer version of Studio Series Bumblebee, the Volkswagen one, but I thought I'd do that comparison in that review. And also, just to give you like a point of reference, here he is with part of Prime's Dreadwind. So all of you would probably have one version of the aerial bots lying around. So if you have an aerial bot, that's how he scales with an aerial bot. You have a rough estimate of how big he is. Okay, so moving on to the next figure. This is probably my least favorite Studio Series release so far. Studio Series Ratchet. So looking at Studio Series Ratchet, I mean, for all intents and purposes, yeah, he is not that good a figure, but for all intents and purposes, he is a serviceable figure at least. Let me remove this, I'll show you that later. Head sculpt is good, very accurate, although it's missing up like some key paint components. This shoulder is also very accurate. Just so you know, I often see this mistransformed. So to transform the shoulder, see, you actually have to snap it so it's 90 degrees. Then you have to the wheels, right? You have to turn it so that the headlights are the front, and then there is a peg there that pegs just, is it under the, yeah, just under the wheel there. There is a hole there. Do it this way. This is very stable. Quick tip. That might give him some brownie points for some of you guys. I know it did when I found that, but still not enough to put him in your top 20 or even top 30. Do we already have top 30 Studio Series releases? Yeah, it's squarely at the bottom, unfortunately. Anyway, lots of molded details on the arm. Again, a lot missing paint. Chest is very accurate. Lots of molded details on the legs. Painted there. Yeah, so not too bad. Not good, not too good, but not too bad. Side, again, not too bad. The proportions are accurate. From the back has this egregious butt flap that nothing we can do about that, I don't think. Yeah, so just standing up there. He does come with this saw blade weapon. So of all the weapons that I know he has a gun which he uses like 90% of the time. He used this for one scene in the first movie, I think. I don't know why they chose this. It's just a really bad choice. But anyway, I would have preferred a gun. Okay, so it's a peg. It's a peg there, and you can have him hold it, which is daft, I think. And you can peg it here, which is how he did it in the movie. And no storage in the back. Yeah. So I don't think I have a relevant comparison for him. So let's just put him beside Dreadwind. So as you can see, he's a fairly tall deluxe, which is fine because he's supposed to be almost the same height as Ironhide, and Ironhide is released as a Voyager. So yeah. Also, just in case we get a Siege version of Ratchet, he'll probably have the same mold as this guy. I hope. And if that does happen, that's how he'll scale with that. Fairly good. So he's a tall deluxe. He's also an equally tall deluxe. Okay, next one is probably my favorite, or at least close to my, or at least my top, one of my top 5 deluxe figures in the line, Studio Series Jazz. So here's Studio Series Jazz. As I've said, probably my favorite, if not at least one of the top 5 deluxe figures from the Studio Series line. He is tiny. Let's see, tiny. I'll see more during the size comparisons, but I mean, he is meant to scale with the other Studio Series figures, and given that they scale the figures down instead of up, yeah, this is probably as tiny as you can get for the car ones, unless we get Skids and Mudflap, which will be tinier still. Anyway, so looking at the figure, very nice rendition of Jazz. Just look at that head sculpt. It's a very tiny head, but there's a lot of molded details, like a, I don't know if my eyes are failing me, but there's like a molded mouth there, I think. Helmet design is very much Jazz, but modernized. Has that clear plastic visor, which is nice. It's a lot of mechanical details on the shoulders, which is also nice. Has that Bad Pig vibe to the chest, Angry Birds pig chest, but that's accurate to the character anyway. Molded ab details, which is very nice. Lots of molded mechanical details there. Very nice legs. Yeah, very much painted front, which is nice. So in terms of the paint, right, before we go for the rest of the details, they painted silver, aside from the head, they painted silver anything that will come out as at least most of the parts that will be part of the vehicle mode. The rest is just plain gray, which is not too bad. The choice of plastic is nice. So yeah, anyway, back to the figure. It's a nice silver shoulder and forearm. That is clearly at the side of the door, but what can you do? Wheels are there. Again, what can you do? In terms of the legs, very nice. There is a little bit of gappage there, okay, but yeah, can barely see it if he's standing straight anyway. Sorry. And he does sport a backpack. It is probably similar to the backpack on the first Jazz figure got way back in 2007, but I think this is handled a little bit better, or a lot better, I think. From the back, again, backpack, but yeah, what can you do? He has two different hands. One of them is the, I don't know, groping hand, for lack of a better way of describing it, and the other one is like a weapon holding hand, and that is because he does come with a weapon, and he barely used this in the movie, but this is his weapon. It's like a, I don't know, shield comb gun kind of thing. Yeah, it's a nice gun, can't complain too much. Folds for storage, which I'll show in car mode later on. It has a handle for when you want to hold it conventionally, but as in like all the movie one bots, their arms actually transform to the guns. So you fold in the gun, the hand, there is a peg, and you can just peg that in. Yeah, not too bad. So in terms of articulation, his head is in a swivel, which goes all the way around, slightly hindered by the chin. And I'd be careful because the ears are clear plastic, I think. So better hold him lower. Shoulders, arms go all the way out, double joint on the elbow, which is good. Swivel below the elbow, which is a bit limiting, but what can you do? Hinge on the arm, more for transformation, I think. No waist, which is unfortunate. Legs that go all the way out, swivel at the top of the leg, feet at 90, and ankle pivot that actually takes the whole leg with it. He has a very small toe but a very long heel spur, which helps with standing. So some gripes, the backpack is one, but I think the major gripe I have is the fact that this is a bit loose. Not as loose as Ratchet. Ratchet's crazy loose, man. You can barely stand. Knocking another point out of him, but yeah. But he is loose enough to be noticeable, but not too loose to be annoying. Oh, well, no, to be too annoying. Still a little bit annoying. Okay, so he's so tiny. He's taking up very little space in my camera. Let me lower that thing a little bit. Give you some size comparisons. So here he is with a pretty maligned figure, I think. Part of Prime's Jazz. No, he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit in anything. I can't fit him with Siege. Too big for Siege. He's probably just gonna stay as a combiner leg or something. But yeah, the proportions are not too good as well. But yeah. Maligned figure, but we're talking about this guy. This guy's great though. And then Dreadwind again, just so you have a point of comparison. So tiny deluxe. Okay, so next is probably my favorite Studio Series figure, Ironhide. Okay, so Studio Series Ironhide. So before I go to the figure, fun fact, as of this writing, March 23rd, this guy has not seen a release here in Melbourne. I don't know if he has been released and someone just was very lucky enough to pluck him, but no. As far as I know, he's never had a release in Melbourne. Him and his bigger brother, masterpiece movie Ironhide. So we haven't gotten any Ironhide love so far. We did get this guy, which we'll show off later again. But yeah, never seen a release. My wife bought this one for me when she visited her folks in Manila 3 months ago. So I may be, aside from the ones who bought these guys online, I may be the only one who has this figure here in Melbourne. So straightening him out, he is very bulky but very short Voyager, which you'll see in the size comparisons later on. But aside from that, I think he's very well done. There are some complaints, first and foremost of which is this belt cum bumper. But other than that, I mean, he is as close to perfect in terms of Ironhide movie Ironhide figures. And I know I've had every release of it, from the tiny Legends class to the let's say Commander class, to each of the Voyagers from each of the movies, and the leader and things like that. I have all of those in Manila. Didn't bring it, so sue me if I can compare them. But yeah, between all of those, I think this one is the best. Some even say this is better than the Masterpiece, but I haven't seen Masterpiece, so I can't really judge it. Judge this against that one. But as far as I know, as far as my what I've seen in all the studio Ironhide releases we've had from the movies, this is the best one. Mass retail, this is definitely the best one. Okay, so looking at the figure, so if you don't have him, track him down. If you can't track him down, I don't know, keep trying. You need this guy if you're into the movie figures. Okay, so closer to the figure. He has a very accurate movie head sculpt. That eye is meant to be squinting. That eye is meant to be drooping. That's how he is. Even the Masterpiece has it. Even the CGI models have it. Yeah. This guy comes mistransformed. Let's just show you how it is transformed from the package. So I'll half mistransform him so you can see the difference. Hang on, give me a moment. So I think I have it. So if you're one of those weird guys who don't transform their figures or don't release it in the box and things like that, or even if you release in the box but too afraid to transform him, this is how he looks in the box. This is how he looks properly transformed. I think like that. So stark difference. Aside from the fact that this looks nice, this is loose, this is firm. And to transform him properly, what you do is you just is the head. See that? No, you don't. See that hole there? And there should be a peg. This peg here, there. You just finagle it into that hole. So takes a bit of doing, but yeah, finagle into the hole, and then tab the head back on. And then for the back, instead of having these floating, it does have the hole there and the peg there. Just peg it there. As you can see, solid, doesn't move. Solid. Solid. Don't want to break you. My favorite Voyager. Okay. Yeah. So accurate. Going back to the details. Well painted face. Have that grill detail and that Autobot symbol detail there. I think it's accurate to the movie as well. Fortunately mine has started to fade, but a little bit of silver Sharpie should fix that. This is unpainted, which is unfortunate. I might paint it, but then it'll be clear that this is the bumper and this is the faux bumper, so maybe I won't paint it, I don't know yet. Faux wheel, real wheels, not too bad. Lots of good details there. Bumper, there is a third-party kit that actually allows you to fold this, but I didn't buy it. I'm thinking whether I should get it. The arms have all these mechanical detail as well. Let me scan just to show you what it looks like. So the arm looks like flimsy, thin. What can you do? It has this window panel there. Again, what can you do? But otherwise, it's well painted and things like that. Well, not well painted, well sculpted and things like that. Unpainted at all, no paint at all. Lots of molded details in the legs. Unfortunately, the lack of paint in the legs do hide that detail. But yeah, can you do? Ironhide feet have this panel, but it is accurate to the movie if you look it up. And it does, he from the back, he has that full wheel there. From the back, hardly accurate. What can you do? This panel has to go somewhere, right? Yeah, not as accurate in the back, but what can you do? Again, I pose my figures from the front. So having a closer look at the guns, he comes with this well, they're both iconic cannons, but he comes with this left arm cannon, which is pretty nice. It is hollow there, but then you peg it this way, so that hollowness is barely visible. Nice molded details there, although there is a gap here because that's where the window will sit. So yeah, I don't mind it. This was easy to remove, but I super glued mine because I was so afraid of losing that, and that's not supposed to turn anyway, nor is it supposed to come off anyway. So yeah, and this is a full car panel. I wish this was painted a little bit because there's a lot of molded detail there that's not visible, right? There's a peg there which allows you to peg there, which allows you to peg it there. Oh, sorry, was that the correct one? I thought it was there. Oh, sorry, that peg there, and that allows you to store the guns in truck mode, which I'll show later on. So the other gun, again, this is better painted than the other one, but still lots of missing paint. Can you do same hollowness, but again that is going to be covered up by the arm, so that's not too bad. I wish the inside of the gun was painted, but didn't have it. And I also wish at least these ones, instead of painted silver inside, would be painted black, just so it's, you know, uniform. But again, what can you do? And they just peg in these holes in the forearm. It's good. It both hides, one, it hides the gaps in the web myself, as well as hides that mirror that's there. Okay, do the other on this other arm. Yeah, not too bad. So in terms of articulation, head swivels only a little bit, moves up and down. Arm moves that much to the side, that much down. There is a secondary swivel there, so you can finagle him a little bit more to give more posability. But yeah, it is limited by the shoulders. Less so if you fold this in, but not that much less. He has a swivel at the top of the elbow, plus a 90-degree bend on the elbow itself, plus wrist swivel. Nothing at the waist. Legs that go all the way out, all the way front, all the way back, 90 degrees there, and front and back motion. And sadly enough, no ankle tilt. This was one guy who would have benefited a lot if he had ankle tilt. Okay, what can you do? So for some size comparisons, I told you this guy was a small Voyager. Here he is with the large deluxe Siege Ironhide, and as it turns out, they're almost the same height. He is a tad bigger, but then I have the legs straightened out. If you pose him normally, well, at least in the CGI models and all that, he has his legs a little bit like chicken legs. Trivia: if you read the comics, he was previously a Decepticon before he joined the Autobots, so he does have the that explains the the sharp edges that are only present in Decepticons. and also the slight chicken leg. So if I pose him with the chicken legs, they're the same height. Yeah, and then again, just so you know how he is, here he is with a Siege figure. Oh, sorry, part of Prime's figure, part of Prime's Dread Vent. Okay, so this is turning out to be a very massive video. Let's speed things along. And lastly, let's go for Studio Series Optimus Prime. Studio Series Optimus Prime. He is one controversial figure, to say the least. When I first saw him way back almost a year ago, I mean, tell you the truth, when I first saw these Studio Series figures, I didn't think I'd like to buy them, just because, you know, they're movie line figures again, they're the same sculpts again. But then when they started showing the pictures, I was like, oh, that's really nice looking. And considering now the scale of it and the size of it, the paint details, the colors, the sculpts, they're all probably the best movie figures that you'll be getting. So if you're just starting collecting movie figures now, or at least start Transformers movie figures now, Studio Series is the perfect line, bar none. There is Masterpiece, but there's like how many Masterpiece figures? Barely enough. You can't even complete the ranks for the first movie, so barely enough movie figures. In terms of collecting, see, Studio Series is the way to go for movie. So I got him, was happy about him, going back to the story, happy about him, really liked him. And then they announced the announcement that pissed off a lot of the collectors. They announced they'll be making another version of this guy with 2 improvements. So if you look at him now, there's exactly 2 things that you won't like about him: that chest thing and the backpack thing. So they're re-releasing this guy. Hasn't come here yet in Melbourne, but I know it's come out in the other regions already, or not the other regions, other countries. But they fixed that thing and that backpack. So effectively, he's taking this figure and fixing all the issues of it. So everyone was bought this. Now you have to buy the other one, which is annoying. And I do know for a fact that the people who bought that one were further annoyed because Hasbro has announced they'll be releasing another version of this guy, the fixed up version of it, but with the trailer. So if someone bought this and was pissed off and bought the other one, he's gonna be further pissed off and he's gonna be buying the one with the trailer. But yeah, for me, I'm going straight to the trailer when it goes out, hopefully soon. Okay, so going straight to the figure. This is not a bad figure actually. I wasn't planning on buying the second version of it because the improvements were not like big enough for me to get it. But I do like the one with the trailer, so that one I might go straight and buy. And that one would be compatible with Jetfire and all that, so yeah, go straight to that one. That'll be good enough. But this figure, it's not too bad. So looking closer, like, very nice head sculpt, right? Very Optimus Prime. Not many mechanical details, just because, you know, car parts, truck parts. Tiny smokestacks, not bad. Optimus Prime chest detail plus the egregious double hinge there. What can you do? Lots of molded detail there. Alright, it's nice. Molded details there. Lack of paint, but molded details are there. And the very flat feet. Okay. The arms, also a lot of molded details. Right. So there's clearly a panel there. Can you do? Move this. Very Optimus Prime hands. This egregious backpack. So actually by default in the instructions it wants you to do that, but then I think it ruins the silhouette for me, so I just did this. Anyway, it fixes up the silhouette a little bit. Doesn't look too bad from the side anyway, so that's how I do it. Transformation joint for the legs, which is stolen from Wei Jiang, I think. Then again, Wei Jiang stole the entire rest of the figure from Hasbro, at least the design. So yeah, give and take between the third party and Hasbro and Takara. Molded detail there. Lots of reviewers will pose him like that. Now you're supposed to actually fold that up. Right? From the back, again, very accurate, except for this egregious backpack. So he comes with 2 weapons. By down Optimus. This 2 energy blades. So another fun fact. They said this was how the blades look like by default. You see, transparent, really nice. And they said there's a running change with a little less transparent plastic. Oddly enough, I got both. See? And I don't consider that lucky just because now it's not even. But anyway, what can you do? Right? The blades itself, Cybertronian symbols, gray paint, looks nice. Can't fault it, right? And the way it stores is actually the way it integrates is actually ingenious. See, it has the peg there, and you peg it underneath. So it actually, so from the top, it actually looks like it's coming out from the forearm. So that's the proper way of transforming it. I've seen people who do it this way, but that's not the correct way of doing it. So you'll be slashing upwards, be slashing downwards. So yeah, that's not the way to do it. Now if you don't want to, you can store, if you don't want to use it, you can actually store it from the back as well. So there's these peg holes there and that peg. So I mean, it's okay for storing, but then you have to flatten the back first just so it's not protruding. And then yeah, you have these monster, I don't know what it is, on the back. Yeah, okay, so that's Optimus Prime. So some size comparisons that I think are relevant. We have Siege Optimus, so they're about the same size if I stand him straight. Now he is repro labeled up, and I do have the repro labels review in my channel, so if you want to see that, just go to my channel. And then the other Optimus Prime we got recently, we have the Power of the Primes, leader class Optimus Prime. So yeah, that's how he scales to them. Also Redwind, just so you know how he is. So one last anecdote. I feel that he is a very small, very light Voyager. So he is taller than Ironhide, even if I straighten up Ironhide. But he is a lot less, I know he has a lot less plastic than this guy. He's probably the lightest Voyager in the Studio Series line. Excuse me, which is funny because this guy is also I think the lightest Voyager in the Siege line. So I don't know, is it on purpose that Hasbro is giving us less plastic on probably the most popular character in the Transformers? Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so that's it. So let me bring the cast back in for one last shot, and then we'll go through some other comparisons. Okay, before we go to that shot, I thought we needed to see this one as well. Here he is with Voyager Megatron. Now he's from the second movie. We don't have Megatron from the first movie, but yeah, he should be the same size as the first movie Megatron, I think. So yeah, just so you know how he looks like with him. So, okay, so one last shot of the guys before we move on to vehicle mode. That's Optimus. Let's do a side-by-side one so you know the sizing of them. Optimus, Ironhide, Ratchet. Hopefully I can get everyone in the frame. Bumblebee. And yes. As you can see, oops, sorry, as you can see, very nicely scaled. I think you have two small deluxes, one Thor deluxe, one small Voyager, and one smallish mediumish Voyager. Yeah. Okay, so some last comparisons so you know how they scale with other lines. Here is with, here they are with Daisy Ridley. Oop, Daisy, please be this review is long enough, so please cooperate, Daisy. Okay. And here he is with Paul Rudd. Cooperate, Paul. Cooperate, Paul. Okay. And here he is with Mark Ruffalo on the scooter. Okay. So if Redwin didn't give you a rough idea, you should have a Lego minifig lying around somewhere. That's how big they are. Okay. One last look at the gang. Then let's go through. I'm gonna skip transformation. Let me know if you wanna see transformation. But I'm gonna skip transformation. And let's go through the vehicle modes. Okay, so let's cap off the review with the vehicle modes. So here they are, all transformed their vehicle modes. I'll give you some high-level pointers on specific tips on transforming these guys. But as I've said, I didn't go through the transformations. If you want to see those transformations, let me know and I'll give you separate videos for each of them. Anyway, let's go through each of them. So Bumblebee is in his 60s Camaro. Not too bad. Has the faded, classic faded racing stripes, painted headlights, painted front bumper and grille, again painted rims, painted tail symbol, clear plastic, some junk inside. What can you do? Bottom is fairly compact, although clearly visible robot parts. Again, not too bad. This gun, as you can see, it's just pegged there. One minor gripe, this color plastic is different there. What can you do? Also, in terms of transformation, see there on the feet, if you don't want things to be falling off, make sure the feet is fully exploded out. Again, I can't show you in detail given that we didn't go through the transformation, but if you made sure that it's all extended all the way out, it won't explode as easily. Yeah, and just be careful about this part. This is the part that actually likes to unpeg or snap off. Okay. Ironhide is black. While I like his robot mode, his vehicle mode is fairly bland. That said, his vehicle mode is the one that rolls the best as well. Yeah. Anyway, really black, very black. Visible head syndrome, otherwise clean. Lots of paint details there. I wish the headlights were painted as well, but what can you do? Road Armor logo there, GMC painted there. Molded side mirrors. I wish there was some silver thing there. I wish we couldn't see the snap-on wheels, but we can. What can you do? The other wheel is better looking. Lots of robot junk underneath, but that's par for the course for Ironhide. 4x4 logo, turn signal, molded Autobot logo. There's actually a molded GMC logo there as well. Focus. But yeah, unpainted. And the guns, when you can, let me show you again. So you combine them again. That peg goes to that hole, and then that peg goes to that hole. I'll show you later, but there's gappage there as well. So yeah, minor gripes, but not too bad. Optimus Prime, from the side it looks okay. Unpainted rims though, but what can you do? Flame decals, clear plastic windows. From the front, painted Autobot symbol, but no paints on the headlights. I wish they painted the headlights, and I wish they painted this a little bit differently, you know. I don't know, maybe silver here or something. It's just too flat. What can you do? From the back, solid back, unlike evasion mode, which is good. And like it's clearly the robot mode feet, but you know, I mean, it's appropriate, I think. The weapons, there's a peg there that just pegs underneath the feet. So yeah, and not only is it flat, it actually leaves the hitch open, so you can actually still peg on a trailer even with the weapons still there, which is good. Ratchet, again, fairly bland, although it does have appropriate lights painted and things like that. The visible head syndrome is strong with this guy. Can you do? Visible hand syndrome as well. Unpainted rims. Search and rescue. Autobot symbol there. Painted rear windows, but no painted tail lights and things like that. The top, you see the spare wheel, and that's where you peg this on for storage. So yeah, serviceable, but yeah, visible head syndrome is strong with you. And lastly, probably my favorite vehicle mode is Jazz. So before we go to the robot mode, this gun, it falls like that, and that wedges into the gap there. Vehicle itself is very compact. You'd be surprised at how compact it is. Transformation is fun, although I must say, and I can't show you here, again, if you need a separate video, let me know. But when you transform this, you're supposed to, there is a clear plastic peg at the ceiling of the top of the car that pegs on the back. If you don't peg it, this won't be flush. This will all be like, there will be like massive gaps and things like that. So yeah, let me know if you need that. I'll play the video. Otherwise, that's the one tip here. That's the one important thing. Anyway, so you can see the whole car is silver, which is good. The clear plastic is light blue, which is not a bad choice. But then you also have these painted details like black grill, that red logo there, Porsche logo. Unpainted rims. I don't know if it's accurate or not. Let me know. Tail lights and clear window in the back. Not too bad. Underneath is all the robot junk and a visible head syndrome there. But otherwise, you know, not too bad. Okay. So let's just go through some quick size comparisons and let's call it a day. Focus. Okay, I won't show you all the comparisons of all the figures that we've seen before, just a few key ones to give you an idea of how they fare. So first and foremost, to represent the Prime trilogy, here's Dreadwind. So I think they're a good size. While Dreadwind is bigger in robot mode, it's not as big in vehicle mode. Of course, this is a Voyager, so this will be bigger. But anyway, see, that's how it fares. Optimus Prime, that's how he fares. Ratchet and Jazz. So yeah. Okay. Now let's go through these guys with another one. Here is Siege Ironhide. Maybe not the best deluxe to compare with, but yeah, this is what I have. So yep. For the Voyagers, surprisingly as big as Optimus, but again, this is a small Voyager. Optimus is. With Ironhide though, Ironhide dwarfs him. Studio Sayers, I mean, Ironhide dwarfs him. Yeah. And last, the vehicles I want to compare with, that's G1 Bumblebee. So yeah. Not bad. Now here they are with like let's not do that. Mark Ruffalo in a scooter. Yep. Do it this way. Do not do that. There. Mark Ruffalo in a scooter. Doesn't scale at all, but if you have a Lego minifig, that's how big he is. So yeah, I mean, they do look nice together. I wish he was smaller. These four guys scale very well. This guy does not scale at all with them, but yeah, what can you do? Okay, so that's it. That's probably an hour long video, and I don't know, that's the best I can do anyway. If you want to see, like I said, if you want to see detailed transformations on any of them, let me know and I'll create a video specifically for that. I think this guy is good to have a video on, as well as that, and that will just be fun. But yeah, let me know. If I get like sufficient requests, I will do it, but otherwise I leave it at that, just because, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on old figures. Okay, I guess that's it. So if you like this review, I know it's been a very long review, I know it's been very boring and very, you know, like for old figures, but yeah, I had to do it. So if you like it, leave a like, leave a comment, please do subscribe and help me out. So this is the review of the Studio Series Movie 1 Autobots, and this has been Grim Trigger. Thanks for watching.